Collider live on a Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a full packed house here today in the studio. Thank you for joining us here on this the end of the week. Joining me, the co-captain of the ship today, wearing an amazing shirt. I got to tell you, I love the shirt.
It's a pretty good shirt.
It's pretty good. Dorina, the Princess of Death, is here. So
happy Friday.
That's great. Obviously from They Live.
It's my mashup of They Live by John Carpenter, and it says The Carpenter.
Or
Carpenter. So
I like it.
Because of The Carpenters, who a great soft rock band.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
The outlaw John Rocha is here.
Let's do it! Girlfriend's out of town. I'm free for 3 days. Let's make it happen.
Well, there you go. And his manager on the Movie Trivia Showdown, the one, the only, Tom Dagnino, sitting in in the back there. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Nice to see you.
Fantastic on this Friday morning.
Well, good. Someone who's not doing fantastic because he listen. I've been there before. Reilly was very excited last night. And I only know bits and pieces. We're going to let the man himself tell the story, but I know bits and pieces of this. He was invited last night. He went to the Annabelle premiere.
The premiere.
And one of the fun things about going to the premiere, you go to the premiere afterwards. You go to the party and you have some nice food and
drinks,
and
free drinks,
apparently
and food.
you show up and what happens?
I showed up. I dressed up.
Yes.
The fiance dressed up, looking very sexy.
Get to the
and we get to the place and we take some
meats.
pictures and we watch the movie and then we're going with the throng of people and the beef comes up.
Hand comes up.
Hand comes up and she goes, "Get your ticket." And I go, "Oh," and I pull out the tickets and I go, "Right here." And they go, "Nope. You need the premiere. You need the after party ticket." I go, "What?" I had this email that's like, you go here, party's here, and this. And I'm like, like, "Oh, well," it says, and they're like, "Nope, you need the ticket." And a bunch of us didn't have that ticket, and a bunch of us were like, "Huh?"
Did he not give the ticket when you checked in?
Yeah, the people you get your envelope, and you open it up, and you have your 2 tickets to the movie, and then there was a third ticket that I did not have.
Did you throw it away? Did you throw it away by mistake?
That was playing in my head.
Yeah.
When it happened, I did not throw it away.
You just didn't have it.
It did not come with it, and a lot of people had the same reaction I did. It happened to a ton of us.
Oh no!
And the thing about the I couldn't find a rep or anything, and they
were hiding in the party.
Yeah, the security, they were absolutely
not great.
They were go move, and I'm like, no, I'm parked over here. And they literally pushed us, and we couldn't get around to our parking structure. So we had to make matters worse, take the walk of shame all the way around with the fiance and her nice heels, and she's like, "So this was just a press screening." And I'm like, "That's what it was."
So you made her dress up for nothing.
Pretty much.
You go to these premieres for the after party.
Yeah.
And I'm not
the free food and the free drinks.
It's a thing that happened, and I saw a free movie. So what can I do?
Oh, good for you for thinking that way. Even though that's very sad.
What can I do? I mean, I tried to get a hold of some people that I knew. It wasn't happening. They were really pushing us out of there.
You should have called me.
People were. I should have.
You
I should have called
texted
Dorina.
me.
It almost looked like they were prepared for it.
They were, and a lot of and the look on the faces was hysterical.
On all the people that
there was like 30 of us that were rushed out of there, and it was like this thing where it was like nope, and this wave of people were going this way, going what?
What company is Annabelle?
Yeah, we don't need to say it. It's fine.
Okay.
People can figure it out.
No. I'm not talking smack. I was just wondering.
It's fine.
This happens to a bunch of people in premieres.
Sometimes.
I don't get it, and it's fine. I mean, it's
because Ellis told me about it. I was like, you got to ask him about it. And I was like, because I know that
they're not going to invite everyone if they don't have
that
to.
That happened to me, and when I was working for the company that was holding the premiere, we still got in because we weren't supposed to get in, but we found a way in.
I've gotten people that work.
I know you have. You probably were the one that got me in.
Staff people from their companies to parties because they're not even. They can't even get in. That's crazy.
Well, it was
that they work for the company. That's kind of messed up.
It pissed off. That was the thing I never understood because and it happened to all the employees that were working. There are a lot of them, and it pissed off all the employees. And it was like, why would you want to do that? This is different. This is a different thing,
right?
Because it's like you invite. Maybe it could have been more clear with that. This is just a screening thing, but it happens. Because maybe there wasn't enough press screenings, so they want to also have the.
Ellis
and I used to get invited to the premieres, but not the parties for things all the time. But when you're working for the company and they go here. Like I remember it was what was the movie? I don't care at the time. It was working for Joe Silver at
House of Wax.
It was no House of Wax. Yeah, it wasn't. But I got into it.
Yeah, of course.
And I got into House of Wax. And it was so funny because people kept every single premiere. The employees were like, "They didn't invite us to the party. We work here. I worked on the movie."
That's pretty messed up.
It happened.
That's sad.
It happened all the time.
Although for you last
too.
night, for Mark, I blame Annabelle.
I blame Annabelle as well. And
She
you would have
did
been proud
sit
of me.
in your chair.
There you go.
Son
That's it.
of
why.
a-
That's
what
it.
happened.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
Should
all
have
hers.
put her in Makuga's chair.
Yeah.
You would have been proud of me, Dorina. Though I was on it. I was like, okay, there's a place we can sneak in. I know how to do this. I know that person. I can do this. And Julie wasn't having it. She was just like,
She wanted
she was
out.
standing
Yeah,
there,
she
and
wanted
it was
out.
a little bit colder that night.
Well, it
It's
depends
hard when
on the
you're-
personality, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes when I do try to get in people to parties, I know I can text Kristian and be like, do this, give this
And I'll
name,
be there.
and he'll do it. But
Yeah.
most of my friends are just like, not on the list. I don't want to do it.
They get nervous.
I want to
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, they get nervous.
So I get
Trouble.
it.
Yeah, they don't want to
It
break.
depends.
They don't feel like
Yeah,
they're breaking
you
the
gotta be
rules.
there.
Yeah.
They're not really are. It's
But-
just you're just cheating the system a little bit. So
Yeah,
you're breaking the rules.
But
I would
also-
have figured it out. I could
I
have
think
gotten
you
in.
could have.
I knew I saw a route. I knew I was texting some people,
Yeah.
but Julie wasn't having it. And then we salvaged the evening
But
and
Tom,
grabbed some
do
wine
you remember
and
us?
food.
You remember our the best crash of all time?
Oh yeah, the GQ Man of the Year party.
This was amazing. So it was myself, Tom, and Mike Citizen who does the who does Little Bobby and the Juice,
Yeah.
which they have a new episode out by
Space
the way.
Burger, yes.
But we were like out partying. This is I don't know, it was probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
We're walking down La Cienega Boulevard. We had been partying all night. Definitely not sober. Walking
And
down.
definitely not black tied out like a
No,
GQ
no,
Man
no.
of the
We
Year
were,
party was.
we were dressed to go out to a club, but not
Right.
like dressed like for like a big fancy party. So we're walking by and we see like this. We can use the word hullabaloo going around like on the corner, and Tom's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then we walk over, and we're like, "They're letting people in, but they're not letting a lot of people in." Right?
Yeah.
So we look, and they're checking people, and so we walk in. We're like, "Yeah, we were just in here," and like, "All right."
Well, Mike went in. and
Mike
we're
went
like,
in first,
We
right.
were like, dude, this guy.
Right. Mike
And-
just walked in and said he was in.
Yeah,
he
and
just-
we were like next to a curtain, and the guy's like, "You got to get in here. You got to get in." We're like, "Okay."
Yeah, so we walk
Right.
in, and the first, so all I see is Mike is hammered. And Mike goes, and I see Mike walk up to somebody. He goes, "What's up, motherfucker?" And he slaps
Yeah.
him on the shoulder, and it's Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx like, "Who? Do I know that guy?" And we walked out, and we just ate everything.
Oh, ate
That's
everything.
the best,
It
man.
was so good.
That's
woman-
literally my favorite part
Yeah.
of these parties is just eating all the free
Yeah.
food. Because most people are mingling
Yeah.
and drinking. And I'm like, I can just eat
That
all
was-
their
the food was really
Yeah.
good.
It's
We were
great.
hungry.
Jim
Yeah, so
too.
much of it. It was so good. But we
Aw.
Jim
and we were just-
Caviezel was there.
Yeah,
And
everybody
he
was
called
there.
him Jesus.
Yeah,
and then we,
yeah, well, that's right.
The
Mike
mother from
Mike
the
walked up
OC
right
was like
after him.
hitting on me. It was really
Yeah.
wild
Mike
stuff.
walked up to Caviezel.
Who was hitting on you?
The mother from the OC, the show. That's how long ago this was. Wow.
But
Love
Citizen
that show.
Citizen walked up to Caviezel and goes, "How's it going, Jesus?"
I mean, it's surprised that we didn't get kicked
So
out.
weird.
It was so,
It was
but
unbelievable.
there's certain people that can do that,
Yeah,
right,
that's
with
true.
delivery. Because I even think because Caviezel wasn't like that was weird. He's like, "What's
Yeah.
up, man?"
Yeah. You always got to take a chance.
She's like, yeah, I am Jesus.
It was so, but the best, I'm telling you, the best was the Jamie Foxx thing. Because
Oh, my God, yeah.
He walked in like he just saw a high school friend. He's like, "What's up, motherfucker?" Slaps him on the shoulder, like, boom.
Yeah.
And
I think he
James-
saw him the night before at another
it
club.
was so
It was
good.
a lot of
So
work.
It was
you
so
got
good.
Ujiri'd. You got Ujiri'd.
What's
that?
Masao Ujiri is the president of the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
And when he was trying to get on the court after they won the championship, a sheriff's deputy got in his way and said, "You don't have the credentials to get
Oh
on the
my
court."
God! Didn't know who he was.
Didn't know who he
What
was.
an idiot.
And they got into a shoving match, and the deputy is
What?
now claiming that Ujiri punched him, and he's claiming he has a concussion.
And now because he found out who he was and wants
The
some money.
sheriff's deputy
Of
is supposed
course.
to be a badass motherfucker. If a punch gives you a concussion, bro, go find your balls.
Well-
that was so you got Ujiri because you got stopped. You didn't have that extra credential.
Not
You
really.
should
I
tell
didn't
them
direct the
Annabelle
movie,
punched you.
so I was just there.
Was the movie
and
good?
it was in Toronto.
It was in Golden State.
It was at Golden State.
Alameda County.
This
They did it on
just
purpose.
this just in. John Rocha will no longer be allowed in the Golden State. Because- yeah, he's not gonna be around San Francisco. He's not gonna be allowed to be.
You don't
Are
catch
you-
me in Alameda.
Yeah, he
Are
could-
you healthy now? Because I can't stop coughing. So did you give me something?
I didn't give you anything.
Is this because
no.
of this room?
Probably this
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Are you like the
it's
monkey
stuffy.
in Outbreak and you're going to get us all
No,
sick?
listen, Chicago. Chicago was the monkeying outbreak.
damn it.
Yeah, because
I agree.
Yeah,
Oh,
Chicago
yeah.
got
Everybody
everybody
was
sick
hurt
because
in
of the
Chicago.
weather
I was
and all that
dead in
too.
Chicago, yeah.
And I just didn't get it.
I made it.
Checked for a bit.
I got through with unscathed.
Nose
all
came out of
amazing.
Chicago with like
Hurting.
3 weeks of bronchitis. He was wrecked.
Yeah, everybody got hurt. I didn't check it for so damn long. That's what happened to me. I was on a full round of antibiotics and steroids. It was rough.
You're like, well, I feel okay, but I'm not getting better.
It was brutal, man.
Yeah.
It was brutal, but it's finally, again, don't jinx it. But
Had a great time.
yeah, guess what I watched last night, Riley?
I don't
What?
care.
You guys, what? You don't care what I watched?
No,
Not unless
we
it's a
don't.
thing.
You're very nice.
No, I do. I care about your
Thank
opinions.
you so much.
Just
I watched another episode of What If.
I know. I figured. I literally thought that that's what you did.
That's exactly what I did.
You just watched the same episode of Renee Zellweger
it was shooting the arrows. No,
yeah.
it was. We watched an episode and a half to be true. My wife is like, she's almost done. She's like done with it, right? Like this morning, she's like, I don't know if I can watch anymore. She's like, there's some of the stuff going on so bad. I go, that's why I can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
It's they introduced now this fire chief woman, and she's so over the top, such a caricature.
Wow.
You're like, what is happening? The dialogue is getting worse and worse by the second. All these crazy scenarios are happening, and I can't stop watching it.
That's
I have
awesome.
to. I have to finish it because I have my predictions of what I think is going to happen in the series.
How many episodes is it?
I hope 30. I don't know though. I don't know.
Full episode order, 24
yeah,
episodes.
it's-
that's the network TV.
You know
that
what
you're
you-
getting
It
that
It's
feel.
just so wonderfully
You know
done.
what you should be watching since you're not watching the thing is What
that?
We Do in the Shadows.
I
That
know.
show is
I gotta see
amazing.
the movie. Never
The
saw
movie was great.
The movie's
So-
amazing.
Yeah, never saw the movie.
It's like the
Damn
movie is
good.
right, but the movie's my
So
favorite
good, yeah.
comedy of like the last
Yeah,
10
the
years or
movie's,
whatever.
the movie's a
Yeah.
classic.
I know.
But
It's
the
a
show
classic.
is so good.
I got to watch both. Tom was talking about it before, and we talked about it on this show like a handful of times, but Big Little Lies.
Yes, that's a great show too.
The first, and well, Tom made a great point in the fact that it's hard. It's hard sometimes to look at Game of Thrones, right? To where you have source material that is it's really good, and then you transfer it over from the book. But when you go away from the books, it can be tricky. Like
Game of Thrones.
That's what I said, Game of Thrones. But some of the seasons,
Yeah.
some would say, work
7,
very well.
A lot of people like 7.
And a lot of people argue, obviously, that 8th was not the best. I liked it, but we know that the internet feels differently. So far in season 2, granted we're 2 episodes in, Big Little Lies is not. It's not coming from a book, and it just scripts, and it's working.
Yeah, it's very.
That second episode was crazy.
Oh my god, it's very novel-esque.
Yeah.
Like I said,
They went balls to the wall too.
yeah, it's the same thing when you pitch a show. Sometimes they want a Bible. They want more seasons.
Yeah.
But if you do like a standalone thing like Stranger Things or Big Little Lies, and it's such a success, you're like, shit, now I got to do season 2 and 3, and now you got to hire a whole writing staff and come up with these, crazy scenarios that weren't written.
Right.
So, to see like what Stranger Things did in season 2, you could tell it wasn't as clean as the first season, for sure.
Right.
And with
Similar
the
to Heroes, remember back in the day?
Yeah, for sure.
Heroes just
for
fell
sure.
apart, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just fell apart. They don't know what to do
first
anymore.
season
Same thing
was
with
so
Lost.
good.
Lost is a perfect example as
Yeah.
well. It's too much, but I like where Big Little Lies is going.
You be careful. We're talking about Lost. Cody might shut your mic off.
Oh, well, no,
Shut
great
his mic
show.
off, Cody.
Great show.
I'm with Cody.
He really did. He cut his mic off.
I like actually a lot of Lost. So
yeah,
No,
most
first
of it.
3 seasons were
I
fantastic.
liked all the
television.
seasons.
You know what?
Two.
What Rocha likes a lot?
What?
Trolls.
Oh, the not yeah. You're,
Online
not,
trolls?
Let's not move
not
on.
online trolls. You're talking about the
No, I'm
listen,
talking about
Let's not
the
move off
movie.
it. I want to give some love to Yellowstone if I could.
You
If
can, but in a
guys-
second.
okay.
But the animated trolls.
Yeah.
By the way, my daughter loved it. It's a cute movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but
You haven't seen the first one?
No, but this trailer for the sequel was great.
Dude, you got to.
He was so happy. Perry and I
Yeah.
were watching him before the show started.
Oh,
And he's
wow.
on his laptop like a little kid with his headphones, and he's like almost clapping. So excited.
I'm
I've
gonna
never
have to
seen you
show-
so happy.
I'm gonna have to show my daughter because she loved the first one. My daughter gets
It looks great.
obsessed with movies. I mean, she's obsessed. She was obsessed with Aladdin, and now she's obsessed with Mark Riley's favorite movie, Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah.
you
What
have
a
the
great
CD?
movie.
What's
Do you have
that?
the CD for Mary Poppins Returns as well?
No, you know what I did today? My wife was very upset with me last time. I showed her the. She wanted me. She's like, "You better call me today, and I can defend myself." I'm definitely not doing that. But I will say what she said. The reason why she got the CDs in the first place. She wanted me to be very clear about this.
Yeah, all right.
The reason she got the CDs was because Vivian, my daughter, has this CD player, right? This thing that was given to her as a gift, and it doesn't connect to the MP. It doesn't connect to any of these things or Bluetooth.
Doesn't have a USB,
Doesn't
all
have
right.
any of that stuff. So she's like, and instead of her having to use my wife's phone or my phone, we got the CDs. And I said, well, we could still just put the Bose speaker in there and just had her do that. But she's like, that's why she wanted to do it. She's like,
she just didn't want your daughter to have the phone.
Her phone, like if she needs her phone, so that way she has her phone, and plus,
which makes sense.
And then she's messing around on the internet, so she just, she's like, that's not an accurate representation of what happened.
That's actually very different. Yeah, I agree with that.
I know. She's like, is this what? She's like, you're going back to your comedy stuff where you kind of distort the truth a little bit and move things around and make me look like the butt of the joke. She's like, I'm calling in tomorrow. I was like, nah, just explain it. But anyway. So
Cody, if she calls in, you put her through.
Yes, please.
She has no idea, A, what the number is, and B, how to find this show.
Yes,
good.
Cody.
Cody, you're so good.
Anyway, so what's before we get into it, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here.
Yeah,
today.
Can I give love to Yellowstone or not?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yellowstone. Kevin Costner. It's on the
Brian
Paramount
Tyler.
Network. Who?
Brian
Tyler Sheridan, you mean?
Brian Tyler's
Brian
the composer.
Tyler.
Tyler is okay. Tyler Sheridan is the guy who wrote it, directs it. Kevin Costner's in it. Cole Hauser's in it. Kelly Riley's in it.
Who did the music?
Bentley is in it. Brian Tyler.
Thank you.
What's it about?
It's set in Montana, and Costner is this head of this family, and they are butting up against the Native Americans there, and it's a battle for this land.
Modern?
Modern. Yeah, he's had the land for so long that now him and Danny Houston is playing the villain.
Danny's great.
with my doppelganger Gil Birmingham from Hell or High Water. He's in charge of the Native Americans there, and they are organized to try to take away this land from Costner, and it's a battle all the time.
It's like one of their hit
badass
shows.
cowboy show.
I think Brian Tyler on this show, man, because he composed that. He composed Crazy Rich Asians. What a good dude.
He's really cool.
I had a full one-on-one interview with him that I think you still get it audio-wise, but speaking of Yellowstone, we did like when we talked about it on the show, the one-on-one, like in depth, because it hadn't come out yet, right? So we gave a little preview and put a little trailer part of it, and the Paramount Network blocked the video. It's like, we're promoting your show. It's like, your composer's on the show. What are you doing?
It's not like 500 million people watching the Paramount Network, for God's sake.
Be
smart. So dumb.
And then we didn't re-upload it. So I'd like to do that or listen to it, because that was one of my favorite one-on-one interviews, because he was not only just really down to earth, but just talking about how he comes up with his music and stuff that he's done and his opportunities.
He's very like classically trained,
he is.
So he knows a lot, and he's a really talented dude. And I see him at all these events. Like I actually went. We were just talking about Drew Struzan. You know, he's the obviously amazing poster artist, and because they did this at UCLA, they did a concert in honor of him where they would put his posters in a screen, and they would have all these different composers like Brian Tyler come up and play the music from the poster from the movie. It was really so good.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yes, I do want to check that.
Check it out.
Can you do it? Is it streaming?
It's the first season is there to binge all 10 episodes,
cool.
and they're like the first episode's like an hour and 10, but everything after that is like 42 to 50 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
The second one
I've been
dropped last night.
curious about it. I didn't know anybody who watched it, so I have been curious about that show.
It's broken glass and barbed wire in your gut.
That's what you were saying in your post.
What's cost?
And did you guys already
description?
You guys already talked about Fleabag too?
Yeah, they talked about it in depth. It was so funny because Roxy had said the first 2 episodes she challenged McCougar. She's like, I don't like it. She's like, I don't get it. And then she came back the next day and was like, I love it.
It's great.
Yeah,
she's amazing. Phoebe
I
Waller-Bridge.
read the pilot and it's fantastic.
I want to jump before we get to the head title here on the Stranger Things 3 trailer. What's this? What's happening?
Okay, so this is, there is a Christian group that took offense with Good Omens, the new Neil Gaiman show, Terry Pratchett. It's based on the book, and it's a show about an angel and a demon that team up. The book is fantastic.
It's David Tennant and
I know John Hamm's in it.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen, thank you. And they were really upset because they're a Christian group and they believe it's whatever. And
what were they upset about exactly?
Well, Jesus. And so a petition was created to remove the show and 20,000
from Netflix.
Yeah, from Netflix. The problem is that it's an Amazon. And they did not.
Is this the Onion?
This
is like my mother and her friends who don't realize what Netflix is.
They went all in on Netflix, and so Neil Gaiman's having some fun.
Yeah, every streaming service is Netflix. That's how they.
That's what they basically think. It's like
damn Netflix.
They're like, there must be like they're doing the cloud again. Whatever. Let's get it.
Netflix to them is probably the streaming is just a term for streaming as opposed to a separate company.
Right. That's really weird.
Did Netflix
that's
put out
what
a tweet that says we are canceling Good Omens?
Yeah, well, yeah, and then I believe there's a fun back and forth going on with it. Is it Amazon and Netflix?
Yeah, Amazon said, okay, we'll cancel Stranger Things if Netflix cancels Good Omens.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Brilliant.
What exactly is so
says it right there.
blasphemous about this show,
That's
though?
really funny.
I'm very interested in.
They're mad because they don't like the fact that an angel and a devil or a demon are working together.
So they don't want two different types of people to get along?
Exactly, because then it affects the tribalism with which they make their money on, which is us against them.
Right.
They're the heathens.
Picking sides.
You're chosen by God.
And also the fact, also the fact that wait a minute, why does the angel straight towards the sides of evil?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's just funny because then they
me
don't try to boycott all these. Maybe they do, but all these horror movies, right? With like possessed
sure
people,
they
because
do.
they
I'm
want
sure
people to believe and be scared of the devil, which
But the
is
thing is, it's
not
like-
true.
It'd
so weird.
It'd be one thing if this is the first show that has ever come out ever. It's like it's one
About this,
No, ever.
Yeah.
If it's the
Oh,
first
fair,
show that ever
fair.
came out, they're just like, what is this?
Right.
This
Did they-
blasphemy, right? Like you can see, like in the 40s or the 50s when shows started coming out and people started because this first time you ever see something like this on TV, you're like, wait a minute, this is not what I'm
Right.
taught. Media's been going on for a long time. This is not the first type of thing that's ever done. It's just like
That is pretty weird.
It's just the culture of what can we complain about
Right.
today?
Yeah,
It's
but
like-
But don't
Who's
you
leading
have
the charge?
other
Kirk
stuff that you're
Cameron?
stressed out about in your life? Like, are you just ignoring those problems, or am I just jealous of these people because they don't have any problems and this is what they do?
I think
that's
it's
so
what-
weird.
But it also says a Christian group that once protested a blasphemous ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They
gone after
created-
ice cream.
They created an ice cream that was called Sweet Jesus, and they had a real problem with that. Neil Gaiman is having the
I think
best
God's up
time
there
on
laughing.
Twitter
What's up,
right now.
Jesus?
I would too. I would too. That's so
They-
weird.
They have. I love this. Neil Gaiman's. This is so beautiful. Promise me you won't tell them. And then another guy's like, they have a whole petition. Over 20,000 people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Amazing.
And I guarantee you, like 90% of those people, or if not all of them, have not even seen the show.
They were corrected.
So what's this here? I think
probably
they-
closet watch
So
it.
Neil Gaiman says, I love that they're going to write to Netflix and try to get Good Omens canceled. Says it all really. Can you zoom into what they actually? Yeah. What is all this?
Yeah.
Zoom in. I can't. My eyes are really bad, Cody. Sorry.
Read it.
An angel, demon are good friends. They are in love. Are meant to be ambassadors for good and evil, respectively. The pair tries to stop the coming of the Antichrist because they are comfortable and like the earth so much. Plot. God is voiced by a
Oh,
woman.
yeah, they're mad about that.
How
Oh, okay.
dare they?
Francis McDormand is the voice of God.
Yes.
Okay, the
Oh, that's
Antichrist will
awesome.
be who will compose the kingdom of God is portrayed by a normal kid that has special powers and a mission to destroy the world, which he doesn't want to do. Shock. There are groups of satanic ruins,
Nuns.
nuns that are chosen to raise the Antichrist. They didn't.
They didn't.
Anyway, so there's
You know what's funny about that? That the Satanic Church is actually like pro-choice and like really supports women and like says the female orgasm is something to be worshipped, and I think that's pretty funny.
That's funny.
Just
either way,
It's
it's just-
perfect.
all of it is bizarre.
I'll
I
tell
think
you
this
what.
is all done
I
to-
saw 2 episodes. They shouldn't cancel it because of that. They
is
should
it-
cancel it because it's terrible.
Is it
it's not
terrible?
You
terrible.
didn't
It's
like
good.
it?
No.
It's a good
that's
show.
just-
You like
I
it?
I
haven't seen
loved
it yet,
it.
but
I
I
think
want
it's
to.
Oh,
great.
good.
Erica watches it. I'm like, this
I love
wanna
how
see
it
it.
also says in the end this is a denial of good versus evil, which is basically putting people in boxes.
Exactly.
Which
Anyway.
is
They-
bad.
Which
They-
is yeah.
They
Well,
finally did realize their error, and they
Oh,
changed it in
to
the petition.
Amazon.
But the URL is still Netflix.
It's amazing.
So
They can't change
for
it.
the
So
petition,
it's
so-
really good.
Son of a.
Unbelievable.
It's
funny.
look, it's comical, and it also they got promotion again. So there you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
That's what they're after.
Yeah, that's true. Let's,
Maybe it's a new way to do marketing nowadays.
seriously,
Right?
Protesting.
Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna
Reverse marketing.
Should we start a protest? Can I protest?
me.
Yeah.
Just
Can I do
protest
it?
me. It's true. Yeah.
No, I'll start a crowdfund before I
Right.
watch the thing before
It
anything.
is true. Just write
Any
this.
publicity is good publicity.
Let's get to Stranger Things 3. The final trailer reveals the villain, and it finds Hawkins under attack inside of this trailer. I think that Stranger Things has whoever's cutting their trailers. Every trailer that they've put out from season 1 to season 3 has just been so phenomenal, and it gets you hyped up, it gets you excited. I think everybody's under the same opinion. I mean, maybe there's somebody out there that thinks 2 is better than 1. I don't feel that way. I think 1 was phenomenal. And
Superior.
2, 2, when I watched it, I said it was fine.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
I really liked it watching it.
Yeah.
We binged it and did like a kind of reaction whenever it came out, and then watched it again with a bunch of people, and I noticed them kind of going. And then on the second watch, I was like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It didn't land with me as well, but the first
Yeah.
season.
I mean, one had
this looks fantastic.
One had
though.
nostalgia.
It was great, but
Yeah,
Tom,
and
doesn't Dacre Montgomery remind you of Citizen?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
funny.
funny character.
Yeah, no, but he just looks like Citizen.
Yeah, he does.
He's been in here for he was in here for the Schmodown, and he was in for and I was at Fandango playing what the hell's that, the stupid skee ball, and I was like, this guy reminds
He's
me
the
of Mike,
bully
dude.
guy.
He's the bully guy
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
mullet.
Yes.
He's really
Yeah.
good
Yes.
at being like a crappy 80s
He was.
bully.
He was also, but he
Fantastic.
was also the lead in Power Rangers, and he was good in Power
That's true.
Rangers.
He's a good
guy.
actor, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good
I mean,
actor.
that's the thing about the show, right? That we all really like the cast, like the
Cast
characters.
is fantastic.
That, you
I
really
think
root
that's
for the
what-
characters, no matter where the story's
Yeah, yeah,
going.
yeah.
I think that's really what
But I
really
still
sells
think
it.
that their first the trailer that they did where they remixed Thriller. Oh man, I feel like that's the one thing I was expecting in this trailer, that they would add like some cool
Some new
version
song.
of like an 80s song, you know.
Right.
So that was the only thing, because
But-
that's because I'm a music nerd, though.
Yeah, that and the only reason, and I agree with you, I really liked. I think that's what made that trailer pop.
Right.
But it's also good that they kind of switch things up a little bit, you know. But what's the other? What's the only thing is Dustin? Is that the character's
Yeah.
name? What's this new show he's doing?
Oh, that's
Mike
right.
Watson's show. Yeah, he got so much shit for this. It's
Yeah.
kind
It's
of
like a
like
prank show,
a
right?
prank show
Yeah.
where they
Messing
tell
with people.
people who are unemployed. They get people who are unemployed
Yeah.
and tell them they have a job,
jobs.
and then lie to them.
But
and
it's
then,
a
like,
prank.
It's a prank that they
I'll tell you
don't
what.
have.
Are they
jobs.
giving him money afterwards?
No.
I hope
Yeah,
they're
you-
not.
that's a shit
They're
show.
not even paying them.
What?
That's a shit show.
That's
That's a
that's
shit show.
Bad.
That's so
People,
sad.
That's a shit
people
show.
went insane.
Yeah,
Is it still happening?
I don't know. They didn't announce that they canceled
It
this.
shouldn't. It's a bad look for him.
Yeah.
That-
Did
That's a
nobody
shit, that's
tell
a
him
shit show.
that's
Something
the
something
premise?
similar happened. Did you see this? It was like a YouTube channel where they dress up, and it was like Walmart.
Oh,
they
yeah.
dress up like the
I saw this.
supervisor,
I saw this.
and they fire
Yes.
employees
Somebody's gonna
on
get-
camera, and and a woman
The
starts
woman almost had a
crying.
heart attack.
Somebody's
yeah.
gonna get shot.
And she's like, oh no, this is just a prank show. You're on camera, and they're like,
She's like,
I mean, it's just like
She just
That's
ruined my
not-
life. You just
that's
gave me
not
stress.
funny.
It's not funny.
No.
It's not funny.
It's
A lot
like
of these prank shows, dude.
Punked was funny because they were punking celebrities.
Right.
So
the
that's
oth-
different
the other-
because
and the dudes from Impractical Jokers.
Yes.
Right,
They
right.
do
That's
it.
right.
They do it right because
There's
they're
a way
messing
to
with
do it.
they're messing with each other, and they just
Yeah.
happen, and it happens to blend a good mix of comedy inside of it. Like I love those
Yeah.
guys.
I
right
agree
there.
with you, Christian, on that. But there also
He's
is
getting
these prank
closer. He's
shows.
like an impending
There is
wave.
these prank shows on YouTube where they're doing some hideous things.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
And people have
Yes.
been punched, but I saw one the other day, when I'm going through the Facebook groups, and there's always like these ones in this one video. I'm sure you've seen it, to where these people are scaring the piss out of all these people, and there's this song that goes run, dun, 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 and every time I watch it, I'm like, how is like they dress up in these like crazy nun outfits, and like they're scaring the crap out of people, and I'm like. This one dude, they're in a parking lot, and he's this dude and his girlfriend. They're walking together, and these two crazy outfits pop up, and it's scary. It's scary looking. And the guy actually, this was great. The guy picks up his girlfriend and runs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Other people were leaving their girlfriends like way behind. This guy picked up his girlfriend.
Like
and,
Jason Alexander.
and
Loyal-
ran.
loyal dude.
Yeah, and
Good
a
for
lot of
him.
people in the comments say that it was fixed, and everybody knows that it was fake. And some of it looks pretty real, but maybe for this particular. But there are other ones that aren't. They're scaring the shit out of people. And the thing is, with the culture and,
Yeah, but in this day and
and
age,
shit that goes down today, man, that's I don't find it funny.
No.
I don't
I
find it
mean,
funny.
I saw a
Never
show
did.
the other day where the person from Us came in, and the guy got totally scared and ran around the room.
Right. That
What
was,
a
that,
pussy.
That
No,
to me
I'm
was funny. Even Tom walked into it. Tom, who knows Makuga so well, was like, "Was that real?" Yeah. And I'm like, "Totally real."
I was like, wowzers.
Yeah, it was good.
These shows are getting out of control.
It's good. But anyway, Stranger Things 3 is coming
like
back,
this.
and what
Fast
is
Times
it?
at Ridgemont High.
What is it?
It's they're saying the season's going to be influenced by Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The
Oh,
Thing,
that's-
Jurassic Park, and movies of David
No,
Cronenberg,
guess you can't
who I
watch
really
it until
like.
you watch the thing, Christian.
No, I'll get it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a
make it
good blend. I think there's going to be a good blend of, again, the nostalgia, other movies that we really like, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do, because they have to do that, because the nostalgia is part of that show. That's what makes it so good. It's very similar
Sold
to
it.
well, same thing with like Cobra Kai, right? Cobra
Yeah.
Kai has a perfect blend
The
of,
best.
of nostalgia, but with new, fresh ideas on characters, and that's what I think Stranger Things has also done. Riley, what do you got?
Sorry, I was reading. I
do you
needed to
think-
get
Ooh, it
somebody
says-
out of the chat. Can you please
Going back to Cobra Kai,
repeat?
though.
Yeah.
But-
What'd you ask?
Don't worry about the chat. Let's
Yeah,
let's
no, I
try
had to
it.
get something.
Well,
You
it
do want
says,
some
and the
cookies?
movies of David Cronenberg. So
Yes.
hopefully it's gory and
Yeah,
creepy.
it was one of my
Yeah,
favorite.
the nostalgia
like
element.
Dead
What
would
Zone
be the
and
Fast
things
Times?
like that.
I mean, it's probably.
Would that be
I think
I think
what
you're
the
gonna see
fast
more
times
high
is.
school.
Did you
Sex.
see
Could
that
be what?
clip?
Sex could be.
I mean, I hope.
Yeah. Did you see the clip where
they're getting older now, like 15.
and I forget
16,
the character's
right?
name, but he's the lifeguard, and all the women are like, all the mothers are out, and they're like, it's noon, and they put
Yeah.
on their glasses, and he walks out.
The Stranger Things?
Yeah, on Stranger
Oh, okay.
Things.
Yeah, I
there's-
saw that clip.
There was that's a fast times.
Oh, for sure.
fine.
But it was like the
Totally.
opposite instead of
Opposite.
what's her name?
Correct.
Phoebe
Cates.
Yep.
Yeah,
Who's
it's
still
the dude.
to this
Still the
day.
hottest
Yeah.
scene
Still, that's
ever.
the best scene ever. Maybe they're
Kevin,
gonna do
Kevin
that scene.
Kline like married her and then locked her away.
Yes.
Where's she been?
She's
done.
she had
Gremlins.
kids?
and
That's it.
Gremlins.
No,
too.
she's a psychiatrist now.
Is she?
Oh,
Yeah.
is she really?
Yeah.
I will go see.
What?
Yeah. She's like a
Are you making
psychotherapist.
that up?
No. She's like a psychiatrist, psychotherapist, something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Good for her.
Yeah,
Dr.
it's true.
Phoebe
They live
Cates.
over in Calabasas.
Cool.
She was. I don't
I
even
mean, they're
want to know
both
how
pretty
you know
hot, so
Yeah.
good for them.
that. It's great.
Yeah, good.
Hope they have mirrors
You got
in
a
their
Klein
bedroom.
thing? You got a Klein thing? Kevin Kline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, yeah.
Kevin
Since I was
Kline.
when I was a kid, I watched a fish called
Oh, yeah.
Wanda.
Thank you.
Right.
I was
The
so into
most-
Kevin Kline. I was into like
the best
37-year-olds
role.
when I was 8.
Whoa.
So,
that
yeah.
makes sense. What do you what do you like better though? So,
So dumb.
so I need to watch The Thing
What-
or What If?
I literally paid attention to your question, and
know.
I was like, gonna think
And then you
about
bailed.
it, like a
But
serious
you-
thing.
but
This
you know
is
what
what
that was?
happens when I take you
I know,
seriously.
but you know what that was?
What?
It was an illusion.
Oh, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. There it is.
This is what I'm very. I
Okay.
gotta tell you, I'm so proud of the Collider Live fan base. I'm so proud of them. Yesterday I went into
They're the best.
I went into the Facebook group just to see, and I wrote hand or pocket. First guy wrote. I use both usually, and he didn't get it. He probably hasn't watched the show in a month, right?
He should get off the group.
No, but then everybody else just wrote either one of two things: pocket or fuck you. It was so good. Yeah. One guy wrote, "You're fooling me, and I don't like it."
On my Patreon page, on my Discord server, one of my guys
Yeah.
comes in and he's like, "Collider Live, this is magic," and he
That's so
shows
good.
me a text exchange of like somebody's like, "What?" He's like, "Fuck you, it's an illusion," and it was so great.
And you know what it reminds me of? I was just talking to Nathan about this. Do you remember, obviously, the Triumph the Insult Dog
Of course.
when he was at the
Yeah.
Phantom Menace
Yeah.
premiere, and he's
that was
asking
the
them
best.
like, what was the question? What was Han frozen in, or what type of
Carbonite,
material?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, the correct answer is who gives a shit."
Which button here
But I
calls
went-
your mother to pick you up?
But I've been doing it every day. That I actually go to the clip and see the comments, and like, it's being flooded by Collider Live, and then people are writing "fuck you."
That's really good.
It's really funny.
That's an army.
But it's so good, man. Like just listening to that clip and watching it kind of hit with the audience is always a lot of fun. So if you haven't joined,
I'm fooling you and you don't like it.
fuck you.
It's the guy's delivery.
Yeah.
Do you remember that on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
intro?
of
That's
course.
so good. So anyway, make sure that you join the Facebook group if you haven't done that, the Collider Live official Facebook group, and subscribe here to this channel. Obviously, a lot of cool stuff happening on the Collider Live channel. If you didn't know that already, that if it's just brand new and you're just finding us, whether it's on audio, please go over to the YouTube channel and find all the clip outs that we do, or go to the Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever. Thank you so much, Shia. Any of those that it's found, you can download it and listen to it.
What's your shirt? John?
Oh, it's the.
Take it
a
off.
friend gave it to me as a
is
gift.
it?
It's Black Panther as that
Oh,
Biggie.
nice.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna
that's old
say, I
school.
thought
Really?
that's
Yeah.
what it
Cool.
was. That's
Good.
Oh, that's
Having the
dope.
crown and
that's
shit.
pretty cool.
Yeah, my
You
friend
got
John
a good
think of
mashup
it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's really
really
good.
hard
This
to
is
beat
great,
the
but that's
Carpenters and
fantastic.
John Carpenter.
What else do we need to talk about in news?
We need to talk about that Kevin Feige was speaking at a junket for Spider-Man Far From Home, and he did say that at some point it's likely that Tom Holland's Spider-Man... What's going on over there?
I just think he's trolling the fuck out of us.
Yeah?
He's just
Okay.
like- he's like, sure, it could happen. Oh my God, it could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that
he
what-
said
It's-
maybe.
You gotta leave the
Well,
door
here's
open.
the quote.
That's
You
what I would
decide.
do.
Let's hear the words from the man's mouth. I think it's probably up to Sony. Sony has both of those characters and has Venom in their world. I don't know what their plans are for another Venom or if they're doing that, but it seems likely at some point.
I think that's more. I think that's more than a maybe.
Yeah,
I think that's.
I think so,
that's-
too.
He's cagey. He always has.
That's
been,
what
right?
I'm saying about
Yeah, but he always been cagey. But he also, when they asked him about Spider-Man at that Marvel announcement in 2014 or whatever it was, too, he's like, nah, probably not gonna, and not necessarily not gonna happen. But the way that he skated around it was like he left the possibility open. Then I think like 4 months later they announced the partnership. But this to me, when he says it's up to Sony, well, then Sony would be pretty silly if they don't try to incorporate their two big characters that they've already, because Venom has crushed, regardless of what some people think about the movie, myself included.
Yeah, me too.
But it doesn't matter because it's a hit. It's a bona fide hit.
Yep.
And now you can put the two of them together. I would think that it would be smart to put Spider-Man in a Venom movie more so than putting Venom in a Spider movie. I think putting Spider-Man, especially after this movie that's coming out in a couple of weeks with what's it, Far From Home. I think once that comes out and it's going to be a pretty big hit. I think it behooves Venom to put Spider-Man in his film one way or another. What do you think, Sean?
I think they have one more movie left with Spider-Man, and then they have to renegotiate the deal.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be interesting to see, because I agree with you. I think it's better that Spider-Man appears in a Venom movie than Venom being like the main villain in a Spider-Man movie.
Right.
You can have that down the road.
Right.
But I certainly think Spider-Man should appear in a Venom movie so that something could be as a counselor. Because remember...
But they popped away from him being a villain already
exactly.
at the end of the first movie.
In
In
the comics, he actually tries to counsel Eddie a number of times about the usage of Venom and what he's doing.
Right.
He tries to help
Spider-Man
Eddie.
does.
Spider-Man does, which they kind of alluded to in Spider-Man 3, that terrible Spider-Man 3.
And 90s cartoon.
Yes, right, in the 90s cartoon. So they try. So that could work, where maybe Venom gets a little too much for Eddie to handle, and Peter Parker has to kind of step into the situation and stop him from going too far.
You know what would be cool that they're probably not going to do is if Sony made an animated version of a Venom movie. Similar to Spider-Verse. That'd be pretty cool. Or just
put
join the
Venom in the
in one of those
Spider-Verse
movies.
sequel.
Exactly. Yeah.
You could do that too. That'd be fun.
that'd be
Are they
great.
doing the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse sequel? Has that been announced?
I'm sure it is.
I can't see no reason why not.
Yeah,
The money it
I
made.
wonder.
What an Oscar.
Are they gonna do anything with Donald Glover and Miles Morales in the they hinted at it,
MCU?
obviously, in the MCU?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they hinted. He's the brother.
We talked about it yesterday. There's some reactions
He's the
out
uncle.
there.
The brother of his.
They said that there's some kind of mind-blowing stuff that happens in a post-credit scene, sets up
I've heard
something.
that too. Yeah.
So,
Well, I talked to somebody yesterday
wouldn't rule it out.
Well, I talked to somebody yesterday who saw the movie, and
Spot from Home.
yeah,
Okay.
and he really liked it a lot. Really enjoyed. No spoilers. Really enjoyed it a lot. But he said
You don't want John screaming.
I know. He said the second half of the movie is incredible, and he said do not leave. Got to stick around for the
Okay.
post credits.
I'm
he said,
excited.
There's one throwaway that they always do, but they
Yeah.
said there's one that just is incredible.
yeah.
So
So it's not Captain America sitting on a chair.
right, but although that was pretty funny.
That
was
was
fun.
really good.
It's funny, but the
That
or
was-
the stupid ant playing that, like I couldn't stand that.
Oh, yeah, that was a
It was
bad
so
post-credit,
dumb
I
with
agree.
the ant playing the.
Or what was that? Oh, it's not Marvel, obviously, but the Godzilla end credit scene. That was the weirdest thing.
that pissed me off because I only stayed there because I thought Kong was going to show up.
I
Yeah.
know, me
I
too.
only
yeah.
stayed because I thought there's
We were both waiting for Kong to show
it just
up.
makes
yeah.
sense that you have to have Kong, and what it was it was nonsense.
Yeah, that was a weird.
Well, they
nonsense.
kind of teased it.
They showed Kong they showed him like just walking around a couple times, but they didn't tease it at the end.
Did you know that Joe Morton is Corey Hawkins' character from Kong Skull Island?
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Joe Morton, the guy that had like maybe 5 minutes, three minutes of screen time, the black dude, the older guy, black dude with glasses.
Miles Dyson.
The guy who played Cyborg's dad in Justice League.
Oh, because
He's Corey
it's
Hawkins.
it's years later. It's the 70s,
I
right?
had no
I
idea.
didn't either.
Yeah,
Oh, I
until a
didn't
few
know
days
they-
later, and I was like, wait, what?
Right.
Why not make a big deal about that?
I still
that's
like.
right.
I still really like Cyborg in Justice League. Just
I
saying.
agree.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with that Kong movie though, man. With Kong and Godzilla, because now that
think they're gonna
Godzilla
push
was maybe because Godzilla was a disappointment.
Emmerich
Well,
said their
worldwide.
options are open.
Worldwide, it's doing
I was
pretty
gonna
good.
say it's
Worldwide.
doing well. No,
Is
and
it?
yeah, I know a lot of people that really liked it.
Not
I
domestically.
loved it.
Yeah,
Domestically,
like
it's
a good
I
time.
loved all the monster stuff. It's just the
Yeah.
other stuff I was bored. But
I,
yeah.
you know,
I
there's certain
think you and I
movies
had the
that's-
same opinion on the movie,
Yeah.
to where it was just like it's like we don't need to stop with the story thing.
Well, I mean, I think-
stop with the family thing. It's like who needs it?
The family stuff. I mean, I think that the
like that.
human
I didn't
stories
mind it.
is important in the sense of like figuring out the fact that humans have created these
Yeah,
monsters,
that's
right?
it.
And but you don't need like my
Too much of it.
parents are getting a divorce. or
Not if
whatever.
it's written
yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Because if it's just written as a throwaway story, because you have great actors like they did, all
Yeah.
three of those actors are phenomenal. Kyle Chandler, Vermiga,
Definitely.
and Millie Bobby Brown. They're
Yeah.
great. But I just didn't care. I only cared because it was them.
Yeah.
But it's very similar to the everything before Bumblebee in the Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the first but dude, that first movie, like I wanted to see like Transformers is '86 is like one of my favorite movies, not just animated.
Stan Bush.
Dude, it's so good
You got
because
that touch.
because you care so much about the Transformers and Spike and his dad, or Spike and I guess his kid at the time. they're there. They help. They're just another characters. They're not the driving force behind
But the
it.
focus are the Transformers.
But because they didn't think nobody's going to watch robots for the whole entire time. So let's just do Shia LaBeouf doing nonsense for 2.5
Dude, that
hours.
86 movie though, that scarred me for life. Like I actually was really pissed off that
Prime died.
Optimus Prime died, and I just blocked it
Spoiler
out of
alert.
my mind. And then recently I rewatched it. I was like, shit, he dies, and then all of these kid feelings came back to
It's
haunt
so
me. I was
good.
so
It's
upset.
a perfect film.
I
Probably
remember,
the best
when I
animation film
saw
of all
that.
time.
I saw it in the theater, and I remember someone screamed out, "Optimus, no!"
Oh, it wrecked me.
It was real.
Yeah. It was Rogue. He was 30 at the time.
It was. Don't give me the
That
flashback.
time it worked.
You talk about the robot thing. The first 5 minutes of Bumblebee on Cybertron.
That's what I wanted.
So you're like, well, what
That's
are you
the movie.
talking about? Just
Right.
do the whole movie
Yep.
for a 90-minute or hour and 45-minute movie there.
That's it. But
Dude.
the problem,
Humans.
was because that movie, because of that I believe the fatigue of Transformers and the way that it was done for
Right.
4 movies did weigh on people.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of fatigue when you do a lot of movies. It's when you do things a particular way that people are like, all right, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Transformers was doing. By the time we got to Bumblebee, everyone's like, and they didn't call it Transformers Bumblebee. They just called it Bumblebee. So when that movie comes out and it doesn't do very well, it does okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't do very well.
400-something million.
It does okay. And D. Bonaventura goes, well, it didn't do Michael Bay numbers. Let's change it back to Michael Bay
Yeah,
stuff. And
because
it's
we
like,
got to add more
no.
mayhem. And it's like,
I said that on Movie Talk a year ago. I said if this comes out and doesn't do
gonna
well,
go back to
they're going to
Bay.
go back to the Michael Bay because
No.
it's about money.
I know. Of
That's
course.
all it's about.
No.
So dumb.
So
Well, I thought the
dumb.
promotion wasn't as heavy as Transformer movies either.
Yep.
And that's probably because
Yeah.
Bay wasn't involved.
Yeah,
Plus the dropping
but
it in
people
this-
didn't see Bumblebee because they thought it was going to be another
That's exactly
crappy
what it was.
Transformers movie.
And they're like,
I
who's
think it was a
Travis Knight?
catch-22.
Who's that?
I also think
Yeah, it's a
dropping it in
catch-22.
December wasn't a smart move. Dropping it in summer would have been the smarter move.
Maybe for that movie. I don't
just
know.
think
because
there's too
the
muddled
scale
that
of-
December.
you know what? If it was in this summer, I think it would have done a lot better.
That's a
Maybe.
great point.
Because of
Maybe.
everything that's going on, and this critic, it's so well liked by
Yeah,
critics.
I
The
know.
first one, it would have been one of those movies that we were
what
talking about the other
What
day.
did that movie do on Rotten Tomatoes? By the way, let me see what it did.
Oh, it's
collectively.
high.
Yeah.
I think it's in the 70s.
I was
think
just
I
trying
thought
to.
it was in the 90s.
Now
see.
that we're almost halfway through the year, because
wow.
time
93%.
Yeah.
because time is a human construct, and we're almost done with the year now.
Yeah.
I have to say I've seen a lot of good movies this year. I'm actually
Oh,
pretty.
I'm sure there's a ton of
Like,
great
so
movies,
many.
but
Yes.
we're talking about like
We're
these
talking
big
blockbusters.
No, I know, but
blockbusters
Yeah, you've
well,
seen the
but
smaller
still,
stuff that you
no,
like,
But
yeah.
there's still, I mean, there's still so far. I think there's good blockbusters that we've seen.
Great ones or just
Yeah, I mean,
subpar?
well, no, like Endgame was great.
This is the conversation we had the other day. Like Endgame for. By definition of the scale of the movie,
Yeah.
yes, it's the summer. But by when it comes out, the
They're
summer
specifically
season,
talking about like.
May to August.
Okay.
But even though, yeah, you look, it came out at the end of April, it should be considered a summer
Right.
movie. It really kicked it off. But if you look from May to August, right?
Right.
If you just disqualify it for that, which you should, but if you do, what else is good? There's subpar movies and average movies, but nothing great yet. What's great?
I mean,
know
I
Pikachu.
really like Child's Play, even though John
No,
didn't
that's what
like
I want
it.
to see.
But even Child's Play. Child's Play is
I
a movie that
really liked it.
I'm seeing it tonight.
But
Curious to see the box
Child's
office.
Play is a movie that you don't think of it as a blockbuster big summer movie. That could have come out in January or February. That movie.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, but maybe now I think horror has been making a comeback for the last few years.
Conjuring came out in July,
And-
I think. a
Yeah,
few
it's
years ago,
Annabelle just is about to come out.
Yep.
Like there's all of these really horror's having a great time right now.
Oh,
Where I'm-
absolutely.
Okay, but still,
blockbuster
but we were talking
movies.
about the other day on the show is that back in the day,
These
certain
around like
summers.
Jaws and things like.
No, but even like 2015 or even a little 20, I don't know, 10 or whatever the summer was that Reilly was reading out. There was like you can like as far as great movies go, you could pick out probably 8 to 10. There's the movies so far, and I think that it's unfair to say that they're terrible, but they've just been kind of like forgettable. They've been like,
I agree.
Like I didn't even think like I said, Men in Black. 3 or 4 International, whatever it's called. I didn't think it was like the worst movie ever. It's forgettable. And then it was the other movie that I said right before that was forgettable too. It was that I said I feel the same way about this movie that I did that one. And it was Dark Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. It's just forgettable. And
It's watchable, just not good.
right. And although
Lazy.
John Wick 3 is
I was gonna say,
that one you're
yeah.
going to remember.
Yeah.
You're going to remember John Wick 3.
And you're gonna want to watch it again.
Yeah, I know you do.
Rambo.
I also think.
Gosh, I love movies.
You've made it pretty clear, Ken. Thank you.
I
but
love watching them.
fine. So
I love making them.
I mean, you do that very well. So thank you for chiming in. I think Toy Story.
Cody, do you have the "You're breathtaking" one
He's
from
such a nice guy.
E3?
I don't.
Toy Story 4 will be one of those. I think that'll be memorable. Well, let's include Avengers. Avengers will be memorable. John Wick 3 will be memorable. To Cody and Kristian, Pokemon
Pikachu.
will be memorable. But
Oh my God!
after
He was
that,
waiting. He had it on deck.
Oh yeah, I did.
I don't know. So
What about Rambo?
that's not summer.
That's fall.
Rambo.
It's in September.
But again, for you, like Godzilla will be memorable for you.
Yeah.
But not for
That's-
everybody
yeah.
else.
Okay. Well, I'm
Good
more,
thing about movies. Some
but-
people will like them.
No, I know. But
other
I mean,
than
No,
big blockbuster movies, there's a lot of good cinema this year.
There's tons of good ones that
So-
come out. That's for sure. Because I absolutely want to see, and I'm dying to see Long Shot.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
great. Long Shot,
Yeah.
Booksmart.
Booksmart. Those are the two that
I'm
on
hearing
my
great
list.
things. I cannot wait to watch Midsummer, which is
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
the guy Ari Aster who did Hereditary.
That's the one that.
Very excited about
that's
that.
the one Perry was talking. Perry saw it
Yeah,
already.
so-
What about Shaft? It tanked. I heard it's
Yeah,
good.
it
tanked.
I heard it's good.
Because
It got an A cinema score.
Yeah, I heard it's really
from
good.
the fans who came to see it.
It's just
So-
the same. It's just the same thing. It's just like
It's
it's
true.
like how many times you're going to do the same movie?
It's a bad release date too.
That's why I never jumped on the
Aladdin?
star.
$750
Well,
million.
that's what we talked about.
But it's not
But that's the funny.
great
That's the
movie.
funny thing about it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
enjoyed
And my
it a
daughter,
lot.
my daughter's one of her favorite movies. But the thing is,
More than Child's Play. That's what they
No, I completely disagree.
But the difference,
me too.
difference though with that movie, this is what we talked about the other day. It made almost $1 billion, right?
Right.
But it still, strangely enough, made a quiet
Yeah,
800,
thoroughly
million,
made
which
it
is
quiet.
crazy.
Yep.
It's like
I
quietly.
would like to make a quiet
I know, right,
800.
me too. But you know what I mean, though. But you know what I mean, though.
$800.
It's like that's like normally when movies get that big and get close, everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, it's hit." It's just like
Yeah.
it might as well bombed because you don't really hear about it. You look at how much it made, and you're like, "That's crazy." It's crazy how much that movie made.
Sneaky.
But it'll be up there as far as. The big ones that have made money, Cinderella. The only one that really ate farts was Dumbo.
Yeah, which was better than
terrible.
most of them.
Dumbo was bad.
They
So
should
it
have called
was
it
way
Operation
better than
Dumbo
all the
Drop.
other crappy ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What, Dumbo?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's
It's
terrible.
better.
Dumbo was done
Yep.
terribly.
Dumbo was
And it was
dumb,
marketed-
not
it
as
was-
dumb as the other ones.
and it was
Actually,
marketed
Cinderella
dumb,
was
too.
pretty decent.
Jungle Book was great.
Jungle Book was great.
Yeah, but
You thought
but
Dumbo was better than Jungle Book?
then what?
Jungle Book.
No, it's just like they're the same. Like I thought they were fine, but they were both fine.
You
That's
said
what-
it's better than the other ones.
No, I mean, well, what are the other ones?
Beauty and the Beast.
Right, that was like I like the cast,
you
not
didn't
not
like
so
the
much
movie.
the lead,
So
but
really that one.
Well, I just my thing is I'm a huge music fan, so when they do a musical version,
wanna
they
see
end
something
up
different?
Well, no, because they end up hiring people that aren't necessarily like Broadway singers, right?
yeah.
So
Right.
so the music productions it's
I
basically auto tune. It's just not. It doesn't sound like you're ruining Alan
Well, let
Menken's
me show you.
songs.
Let's go back up to the top.
Dumbo?
Here,
Fair
here are the
point.
ones that came out. So these are the live action ones that have come out. There was the Jungle Book that came out. This is before this is the Stephen Sommers one, right?
Yeah.
So, PU. So that one stinks, right? 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians. PU. It really starts.
See, but
the-
these
the
are all
remakes-
fine.
Yeah, but
None of these are great.
The ones that started off out the first Alice in Wonderland, which is essentially again what Tim Burton does. He doesn't make remakes of them; he makes sequels. So Alice in Wonderland was a sequel to the animated film,
Oh.
wasn't it? It was.
And it made $1 billion.
It made a lot of money. Maleficent, same thing. Was just a very different movie. It made a lot of money. Didn't love that one, right? But a lot of people did. Cinderella, I thought was great. Jungle Book, I thought was great. Alice Through the Looking Glass was
Bad.
garbage.
Bad,
Terrible.
Bad.
Garbage. I liked Beauty and the Beast a lot. Christopher Robin was. I don't necessarily know if that's you count that.
I don't
one.
think you count that.
You don't really count. It's just
I'd
kind
count it.
but it's not a remake of anything. It's just a different take on. I mean, I guess you
It's an
could.
I guess
adult
it's,
version
but
of
it's
the
still
story.
live
It's-
action.
Yeah, all right, fine.
It's live
fine.
action and-
Dumbo was farts, and Aladdin was.
Dumbo tanked because Ray Liotta wasn't in it. He was off
Dumbo
quitting
dropped.
cigarettes.
You love that movie.
Who was he going to be? Oh,
And Aladdin, I thought
Dumbo
Aladdin was
dropped.
good. I thought Aladdin was good.
Eh.
No, you didn't like it. All right. Here's the new ones that are coming out. You got Lion King coming out in July. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Now they look like they're leaning more into
What-
actually being a villain this time.
What is Lady and the Tramp going to be like? Is it going to be like
Jungle Book.
no, or like Cats, where they're going to have like just CG dogs and
Talking.
talking, which is
Well,
super
but
creepy.
That's
think it's
like
supposed to be-
Jungle
Is
Book.
it going to be a horror movie? That would be
No. I
great.
I think it's Disney Plus.
It
Yeah,
is
that's
Disney
Disney Plus.
They're gonna do the spaghetti
Mulan
thing.
could be really cool. by
Yeah.
the way.
Yes.
Mulan could be cool.
Although they're taking
They-
out the songs.
Are they doing Cruella?
They're taking out the songs, but that's
Some of the
I'd
songs.
rather do that though. Like I'd
Okay.
rather them just unless you're gonna hire actual singers,
Yeah.
Right,
and have like legit music production. No offense to the producers, it's just that they Disney mania it. Like they do it like Radio Disney, and I don't like it.
They're doing Cruella, which I don't know if that's necessary. Keep going.
Who's Cruella?
I can't see. Rocha's big head's in the way.
Sword
the Sword and the Stone.
His
I
head's like
love that
Sputnik.
they're doing that. Pinocchio. Finally, let's see if that ever gets off the ground. Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Best Disney movie.
Lilo and Stitch, and then The Little Mermaid, which is they don't. It's all TBA as far as when.
I'm curious.
I'm surprised they haven't done Little Mermaid. I'm surprised they didn't do that a while ago.
I'm curious to see how they handle that.
They're probably going to do it like Aquaman, to where as far as no, but I mean as far
Live
as
action?
Hey, Aquaman looked great. Whatever you think.
My prince.
My man.
I'm talking about how they shot it underwater.
Yeah,
it looked great
it looked
underwater,
beautiful.
and the way that they talk underwater and stuff too. I think that they probably shoot it like Aquaman. So yeah. Anyway, Reilly, any other news that we need to talk about? We got like 10 minutes left.
We have some casting news. I love this. Ray Winstone is joining Black Widow. So that's a great.
Cool.
That's a good cast.
That is
right
really
there.
good. Actually, you can see he'd be her like her mentor or something.
Yeah.
Black Widow.
Why haven't we done? We haven't done calls since yesterday or today.
We didn't do calls yesterday.
No.
Band.
No.
We didn't.
Or questions.
because we had a
questions.
guest on.
Oh,
at
that's
the very
right. We
end.
did.
Oh, right.
That's
Yeah.
right. That was a fun interview.
That was?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Johnny,
guys crushed.
Gianni Paolo.
Yeah. How'd that go? I didn't get a chance.
It was fun.
Great.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
He was
He's a
like
super
crushed it.
energetic.
Awesome.
Cool
You should
dude,
get him
yeah.
on the Schmodown. A lot of energy.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
And he's still building,
Does he
so
know?
he'd probably be willing to do it.
Well,
There you go.
Well, there you go. Okay, well that's cool. Ray Winstone. Anytime you add Ray Winstone to anything,
20 seconds.
Just
no,
elevates.
we're gonna do more. Ray Winstone. Ray Winstone is he's.
I don't know. Crystal Skull was Ray Winstone too, so
He
I don't
directed.
know.
That
He
that
was
wasn't
in-
his fault.
But he was good in that movie.
He was-
He's good in everything, man.
Yeah, like Kate Blanchett was in that shitty movie too.
But wasn't Ray Winstone? Was he in Bruges?
No,
Yes.
that's Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson. I know he was in it. I just didn't know they were
That's a-
both in it.
That's a really good
Yeah.
movie.
Brendan
Is he
Gleeson
related?
in
Is he
Bruges.
related to Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
No, but
man, she's so
Winstead and
hot.
Winstone. Thanks for
You got there,
joining
Tom.
the
You got
conversation.
there.
I will.
Wait, Tom's here?
Yeah, I know. But I
Coming from the
totally lost my
balcony.
train of thought. Now. But no, going back to it, anytime I can make the reference to it when you bring up Brendan Gleeson, right? It's like I'm always going to remember him from Braveheart.
Oh yeah,
Always.
He's unrecognizable now.
Amish.
I'm the only one that thinks that movie's overrated.
I love that film. Well,
Braveheart?
dare
What are you
you.
crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
That's
So good.
What was better,
just-
Braveheart or Child's Play?
Yeah, right. She's going to say
the
Child's
original
Play.
Child's Play is way better than Braveheart.
You're a crazy person.
You know what? You know what?
You're a crazy
Okay,
person.
Insane.
You know
Yeah.
what? She's not that far off. That's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
What?
It's fine.
The original Child's Play.
The original
Yeah.
Child's Play is fantastic.
How in the
so
world
good.
did you say she's not far off with Child's Play and Braveheart? How are you comparing
Way
these?
Well, it's
better than
different. It's-
Braveheart. I'd
it's-
rather
it's
watch
different
Child's Play
genres.
every day and never watch Braveheart again.
You know what,
Is it
Christian?
because-
I am a producer on this show, and I can take people off.
Roger Ebert
Put
is
you
rolling
on.
in
I
his
can take
grave.
you on.
See that was when I was waiting for the. That's a dong take. But look, that's her
Wow.
take. But that's her. But that's a
Yeah,
genre.
true.
That she,
Some
but that's a
films are
genre that she
My
gravitates.
opinion.
But that's,
Bust
that's
and
where you,
balls.
but that's where your opinion gravitates to. So it makes sense that that's where you'd want to go for sure. And that's what she. But that's what she responds to.
Best
Rocky,
picture.
Rocky's
But I-
better than
but
The
I-
Godfather, in my opinion.
Right.
What'd you say?
He said Rocky's better than Godfather. Right.
But you
that's-
still
but
think
again,
Good Godfather is great.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's
of
funny
course.
because I just watched Braveheart the other day, and I'm like, I want to watch it again. I just love that movie. It's a
About the
fantastic
4K
film.
transfer.
It's
the
great.
battle
That's what I
scenes
watch
are
it. It's
incredible.
so good. And there's so many things that I've noticed inside, like little bloopers and
Yep.
stuff too. Like there's a
The
scene,
truck.
but Sterling. When he's on,
Oh, the Mount
so here's
Sterling.
when but there's so many things happening. Sterling. Well, one thing I'll tell people to look for is like right after they do the things with the horse, they have the spears and they start running to fight ground combat. Mel Gibson's running and he has a hammer in his hand, right? And then they cut back and he has a sword. Then they cut back and he's got nothing. Then they cut back and he has a hammer. And they cut back he's got the full
right.
sword. And then they come back he's a hammer. It's and there's another shot right at the end.
a Wiccan.
And at the end when it's all done and he looks up to I think it's morning I can't remember and he looks and he goes right in the back you see these two extras fighting and they miss cues and the guy goes. And then the guy turns around.
I love watching
it's great.
extras mess up in
It's really
movies.
good.
'Cause-
Which? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, which movie was it where the guy's doing the mop and it's not even
Oh,
touching
James
the
Bond.
ground? James Bond.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
Casino Royale.
Yeah, Casino
Something
Royale.
like
I
that.
love
Oh,
stuff
when I
like
was
that.
a background
That's
artist,
hysterical.
I would screw up on purpose like that all the time.
So you'd be noticed.
Just to hopefully get on the
Yeah,
camera.
it makes sense. It's like nobody knows what
Like,
they're
get
getting.
that guy out
Yeah,
of here.
nobody knows what they're getting.
We watched
I
we
love
had a,
background
when they get you.
artists.
Let me-
we had an episode. I was in an episode of Charmed.
Yeah,
and
sure you are.
we're all sitting we had like a family dinner the other day at the house, and they're like, "Hey, let's watch that episode of Charmed you were in." I'm like, "All right, cool." And basically, I'm sitting at this thing. I'm in every scene in the whole thing.
Is it on the internet?
Yeah, it is. It's in season 6, part 1 and 2, or something, in like some vampire bar. I'm in every single.
I know
scene.
we only have like a
What
couple
are you
minutes left,
doing?
Alex, but if you can find that, please find it.
What are you doing in the episode?
I'm sitting at a bar, then I catch Alyssa Milano, and then it's real dark, so you have to really look. And my hair is long, and I look really weird.
You had long hair?
Oh yeah.
I look like a complete psycho.
It was so. I would love to find that. If
I
you can
got
find
kicked
it.
out.
And you
They-
don't anymore?
They kicked me out.
So
It's just
well,
like-
because
The
when I
director
first
said cut,
Yeah.
he goes, "Who's that guy?" They go, "Get him out of here. He's in every scene."
when I first got to LA, they were doing. You hear rumors of how you can not rumors, but how you can get your SAG card.
Taft Hartley.
Yeah, and it's like, well, if you're an extra and you have a line or something, too, I'm like, oh, that'll be easy. Not easy, right? So I go, and I remember a friend of mine hooked me up with the extra work, and I was doing extra work, and like, hey, there's this movie Point of Origin, right? And you remember this? So then I go, and it was Ray Liotta, and it was a true story about how he was a firefighter who was like, they were doing this arson investigation, and he was the guy that was burning all this shit. It was like serial arsons, but Ronnie Cox is like the chief guy, and he's doing this speech, and it was this banquet thing, and I was there. So like, all right, so they go, get to the front, me at the bar, get to the front. So I'm in this shot with Ronnie Cox and Ray Liotta, and they don't really give me any direction. So I walk up and I go, give me a rum and coke, right? and the guy's like, is that guy moving his mouth? What's he saying, right? And then I kept saying, give me a rum and coke, and they're like, you can't say it, you can't do that. And I was like, all right, so I go, just nod my head. But they couldn't use that take. So it's dubbed over. You see me go, and they goes, coke, and coke.
What do they dub over with?
This someone else's voice.
Isn't it in your
I didn't
acting
get-
reel? It's in your acting
It's
reel.
not in my
isn't it?
acting reel, but somebody found it. A fan found it. The Point of Origin scene.
Has
and
anybody
it's
seen
really-
Height? The movie
Height? No, Height's been buried in my garage for like 4 years.
I still have it on VHS.
Do you really? I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you borrowed it. And
Can
never
we
gave it up.
watch
Yeah, it's true,
that?
I
I
did.
want to watch
Height,
that.
Height is one I play.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
Brett Sheridan's really good buddy, my buddy too, Leaf, who played he was the guy
the robber
He
in-
killed Uncle Ben in
in
Amazing
Amazing
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
But he had this short film called Height, and I was the best friend in it, and I get killed.
By like a crazy robot, right? Or something.
Is it like
I
a,
think
is
it's
it
my
a cool way to
girlfriend that does
die?
it. Oh, yeah, it's a robot.
Yeah.
No, but the robot is the one who's telling.
Oh yeah.
the
Let me
person
tell
to
you,
do it.
the
I'm like, is
movie
it like
was
Short
way ahead of its
Circuit?
time.
It was
It was
ahead of its
way
time.
ahead of its time.
Yeah. All right,
Charmed was my first 5 and under.
Yeah, but before we get out of
Steve
here,
Guttenberg was
I
in
will say that both Rocha and Dagnino are here too, because tomorrow night at the Schmodown Collision, you've got 4 huge matches live streaming. Get the tickets at the schmodownlive.com. The main event is the Shire Wolves trying to get those titles back from the Odd Couple. You've got a number 1 contender match with either JTE or Liz Shannon Miller. That match goes up today. Yeah. The winner of that will play Paul Oyama, the hotshot Rook. And then you've got Mike Kalinowski versus Smets. Real quick, who you got? Kalinowski, Smets.
You know, I was leaning towards Kalinowski, but I slept on it. I think New York Smets.
Yeah, who you got?
I've been saying Smets for a while, yeah.
Kalinowski's riding a little too arrogantly hard. I think Smets is going to take him down.
Then I'll go for Kalinowski.
I think Kalinowski as well. So that's one of the big ones for sure. I got Shire Wolves taking the belt back.
Yes.
I do
Everyone
too.
knows too.
Same.
I do not.
You do not. You got the Odd Couple.
not. I have
Okay.
the Odd
I do
Couple
not too. I like Odd
because I
Couple.
think they didn't play a good first game and still won the belts,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to come even harder and take the belts.
Harder
Or
to
keep
say the
belts.
number 1 because we don't know yet who's in
Agreed.
it.
Right.
But the reason that you guys are sitting here right now, Dagnino, you picked Rocha to represent you in the
Sure
men's
did.
role. Give me a quick why.
He's a legend. You know, like I said this before, when the chips are down, the guy's one of the best in town. I'd go to war with this guy on the streets and in trivia. I think he
Fair.
I think he has a lot of heart, and I think the competitors he's facing really don't have a shot, to be honest with you.
Well, you got John Rocha, Drew McWeeny, Janine the Machine, Stacey Howard, and Eric Zipper. Whoever wins, the manager will run the league for a full month, and you can watch it all. There's a pre-show with Emma Fife and Ken Knapsack that goes up.
Zippity-doo-dah.
That goes up on the channel at 2 p.m. PST. Then the event starts at 3. If you're a patron at the $10 level, you can get it, or you can just get the one-time fee at the schmodownlive.com. It'll also air a week later on the channel, but then the post-show will also be available to everyone. But
Jack
listen,
the Zipper.
that's the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Episode 5, Little Bobby and the Juice, Space Burger. Alex Marzoña is making his acting debut.
Is he singing? Is he singing?
Yeah.
No, he plays Bathroom Alex.
Oh, you see?
Nice.
It's a pretty amazing thing.
Blew it. How do you not have Alex sing in your show?
Also,
yeah.
check out my sketch with Brett Sheridan on
Yeah.
Super Dork House YouTube channel because it's pretty funny.
Do that. And listen, once again, you got Tom, Reilly, Rocha, Dorina, Cody, and Alex. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on Monday because X-Pac himself, Sean Waltman, will be on the show on Monday. Coming on in. Very excited for that one. All right, guys. See you on Monday.
It's an illusion. Fuck yeah.